Hey everyone, Brian Matthews here with Southern Pine Outdoors, and today's video is going to be all about, you guessed it, my F-150. This is a 2013 Ford F-150 with 114,000 miles, give or take. Love the truck. Can't say enough positive things about the reliability, the dependability, and the longevity of the truck itself. I purchased this back in 2015. It was obviously a year and a half, 2 years old, previously owned by an older gentleman who wanted to downgrade or maybe even upgrade, whatever you want to say, to a new Toyota Tacoma. That's kind of both. He downgraded to a smaller vehicle and upgraded to a newer truck. Said it was too big for what he was doing, just didn't need that big of a vehicle. So that's what I was told from the dealership, at least. Bought it from, obviously, a Toyota dealership, so they were wanting to get rid of it. So I got it for a pretty good price at the time. My two criteria for the truck itself were I wanted four-wheel drive and I wanted a four-door. Now, obviously, being the outdoorsman type, carry a lot of gear with you, camera gear, hunting and fishing gear, all that stuff, as you know, takes up a lot of space. So, kind of needed that back seat to really put all that gear, the equipment in. But kind of going from front to back, starting with the front, it is a crew cab. It does have the V8 engine. I get that asked a lot. Whenever I tell people I have an F-150, the first thing they ask, is it an EcoBoost? No, it's not an EcoBoost. If I had done my research beforehand, I probably would have gotten the EcoBoost just because of fuel economy and a little bit better towing specs. But to be honest with you, the V8's not that big of a difference for me personally. I don't do a lot of towing with this vehicle. Like I say, a lot of it's highway miles or road miles, just going from point A to point B. And then, like I say, the occasional driving through the woods and going hunting and things like that. So I need the four-wheel drive from time to time. So going from the V8 engine to the interior of the cab, it is an XLT package. So it does have the cloth seats, carpet on the inside, and kind of the, not necessarily basic, but kind of the next up in technology for that year model for 2013. It does have a rear view camera. It is built into the logo here on the back of the tailgate, and I'll show you that in just a second as we do a walk around. The rear view camera is actually built into the rear view mirror. I kind of like that just because it kind of gets it up out of the off the dash, because I've noticed driving other vehicles, other personal vehicles and other work vehicles, that a lot of times those big screens built into the dash, if they're not angled just right or have some kind of cover over them, the sunlight coming in can actually put glare on it to where you can't even see what's behind you. So having it up in the mirror kind of, like I say, gets it out of the sunlight a good bit, and puts it at a decent angle to be able to see it. Now, obviously, the negative behind that is the fact that it's, about this big. So it kind of has its trade-offs. Obviously, I would love to have multiple cameras as well to be able to see into the bed of the truck. It being a crew cab, it'd be kind of nice to actually see back there and check on your gear as you're going down the road. If you've got something tied down, to make sure it doesn't fly out. I know a lot of these newer vehicles have those options. The entertainment system, as far as the sync and things like that, like I say, once again, it would be kind of nice if my model had the Apple CarPlay to be able to plug my iPhone in and make those connections and have the GPS on the dash itself. But I make do with what I've got. Obviously, I'm loving the truck. I'm blessed to have it. Satisfied with it. Not planning on trading it in anytime soon, unless a great deal comes up or I win the lottery. But I don't play the lottery, so that's not happening. Kind of going back from there, it does have the retractable window, electric window, whatever you want to call it. The only time I've really used that is if I'm carrying a lot of fishing poles, and especially like a fly fishing pole or rod. You know, those are going to be 8 to 8.5, maybe even 9 foot long. And so having that ability to roll that down and stick it through the window is an asset or a benefit to that. The truck came, as you can see, with the Line X already done. I would assume that this was done factory, but it does have a Line X sticker in there, so maybe it wasn't done factory. Previously, you know, that wasn't really a criteria for me when I was buying the vehicle. Things that I've done to the truck, other than putting the Sick Nasty logos on there, if you can see Wendell Lee Well Services right there. If you follow our channel, go find them on YouTube at Wendell Lee Well Services and go subscribe to their channel, as well as obviously subscribe to ours, Southern Pine Outdoors. We'd love to have you join us. But getting back to the upgrades, I previously, before I had the toolbox, had a tonneau cover, one of the hard ones that you rolled out and then it rolled back into a drum. Well, it started leaking, and the reason it started leaking was because I installed it and I didn't maintain it. Go figure. So eventually the track on the outsides that go right through here, or on the sides there, got out of line. So I never went and realigned it or adjusted it as time went on. So it just got to the point where it would be either extremely hard to open or extremely hard to close, and I just said, I'm going to take it off, see if I like having the open bed, and then eventually I got the toolbox. The toolbox has been a great benefit, asset to the truck. It allows me to throw all of my hunting gear in the back, all of my fishing gear when the seasons change in that toolbox, except for the rods, and keeps it out of the cab of the truck. And then I have room for my camera and any other equipment or a suitcase or whatever in the actual cab of the truck. And then that still allows me the bed access here to throw a cooler or throw a deer back here, or whatever the case may be, do some work, throw some lumber, whatever the case. So I really love having that toolbox. I plan on doing a review of the toolbox, as well as the accessory light that I added on top of that. The other thing that I've done is obviously gone through tires, just regular maintenance and things like that. The stock tires that come on them, those Wrangler Goodyear tires, to be honest with you, aren't the greatest. I think I got maybe 30,000 miles out of those tires before I switched to some Michelin's. And I don't know if it was just that particular brand. I think I had the MS2 Defenders or something like that, or maybe those are two different brands. To be honest with you, I can't remember. It was either a Defender or a MS2 or whatever model, I'm not sure. But it was a Michelin brand tire, and to be honest with you, this truck ate them up. I mean, I may have gotten 40,000 miles out of them before I was like, this is ridiculous. And so I actually kind of upgraded. I wanted something a little bit beefier than just a street tire, because at the time when I got those street tires, I was using my truck for work, and so I was doing a lot of highway miles, a lot of driving back and forth. And I said at that point, when I was getting new tires, I'm not doing as much street driving at work, so I want something a little bit beefier, a little bit more suited for my extracurricular activities. So I went with the Nitto Ridge grapplers, and you'll see those in just a second, as well as the rest of the truck. I'll do a walk around and point everything out. So have loved these tires. I think I've had them on for about 75, 80,000, or since I've had 75 to 80,000 miles on them. So that puts it at about 30,000 miles, 40,000 miles on those tires, and you'll see they're, if you keep them rotated and keep them balanced and everything like they should be, they are phenomenal. Actually two negatives. other than fuel economy of any pickup truck. For this particular model with the 5.5 foot bed is the actual size of the bed. I wish you could find a half-ton pickup truck, because I don't do a lot of towing with an 8 foot bed that's a crew cab. Why they don't make that, I don't know. But I would love to have an 8 foot bed so that I could have my toolbox and still have 6.5 feet worth of room to be able to put a sheet of plywood in and not have it hang out the back end of the pickup truck, or put some lumber in there, or have just that extra room to be able to carry something. The other negative to this particular truck, with the backup camera, there's not very much backup light. I know a lot of people add auxiliary lights, but I'm kind of a factory kind of person who wants it to look professional and wants it to look factory. So drilling holes in the bumper and, you know, doing all of that is just not me. If I can't take it off and make it look like it was when it came off the lot when it originally was purchased, other than the tires, I'm not going to really do it. I have thought about putting a bumper on the front and just changing out the bumper completely. If I do plan on keeping the vehicle for an extended period of time, which it seems like I am, that would be an option as well. But like I say, I'm just kind of nitpicking some things that I see personally from the 2013 models that I personally would like to have changed or see done in the future. So let me get you off the tripod and show you around the actual vehicle. You can take a look at everything. I'll show you the inside. Try to keep it pretty clean. It's not clean right now. You can see how dirty the truck bed is, but it's a truck. So this will give you a good example of what a daily driver looks like, what it should look like with 114,000 miles on it. And like I say, we'll go from there. If you have any questions, like I say, I'm just going to walk around the vehicle real quick, show it to you. If you have any questions or would like me to go into more detail about certain aspects of the truck, please leave us a comment down below. Like and subscribe to the channel if you like these kind of videos about truck reviews, outdoors, hunting, fishing, working in the yard, working on your piece of property to manage it for farm, deer, anything like that. Please subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot of content coming up. Doing a lot of work with Grant Floyd, like I say, from Windley Well Services. So check out their YouTube channel as well for a lot of equipment reviews and things like that. So thanks for watching. Let's get you to look around this truck, and we'll catch you on the next one.